Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.
Kimberly's Revolution with Revere Realty. I've got Dumb and Dumber. One's trying to look smarter by reading a book.
Oh, we started? Oh, I'm sorry.
Chad, I'll go with Dumber.
Yeah, okay. And then we have Mr. Candy Cane.
Right.
Is your shtick that you ask girls to lick your lit candy cane?
No.
Plead the fifth, Tom. Hold on, I got the law book right here. I'll get you out of this.
You brought all your big books today.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go.
Have you read those books?
I started reading Thomas Paine, Common Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read part of it.
You've read part of it?
My favorite line so far is this: society in every state is a blessing, but government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. In its worst state, an intolerable one.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive, huh?
It's like deep
That's
and
good
all.
stuff.
Has that book been next to the toilet for 4 years at the office? I've seen that somewhere.
I think it's been 5.
All of a sudden, it came out today. Here, we need to make the show.
You better
wash your hands.
You better check for E. coli in that book.
Well, that's better than
Kimberly's
COVID.
Revolution needs to look more cerebral. We've got to have a book or two.
Right.
Wait, we've got Shannon's coat.
Yes, she's the smart one.
The lone coat. We're just going to show pictures of the coat today.
Her coat is smarter than we are.
Yeah, right. There's the coat. The coat has been here for 2 weeks and just been sitting here. We thought we'd find paraphernalia, maybe vaccinations, something in the pocket, but
Shannon Joy, if you're listening, your coat is here at the studio.
Shannon Joy's coat will be its own entity today in its own little chair. So I am Kimberly. This is Kimberly's Revolution. That is Chad Hummel sitting across from me. He is a broker owner of Revere Realty. Tom Morgan.
Dumber.
In the light-up jacket.
My light-up jacket?
He's a little upset with me.
Yeah, I'm upset at Kimberlina.
I threw him off. I threw you both off. Because I had a simple question.
Prima donna.
Here's what we do. We do a podcast, but we're realtors and brokers, and that's what we do when we're not playing we're big-time podcasters. And by the way, the name of the show today is If They Fear Us, They Won't Fuck With Us, right? And I've always said that. If you're succeeding or if someone fears you, they generally just kind of leave you alone. It's one of the two. If you're really successful, they leave you alone. If they're afraid of you, they kind of leave you alone. So the name of the show today, and it's going to make sense a little bit later on, is If They Fear Us, They Won't Fuck With Us.
Did your father call you princess when you were a kid?
No, he called me the pest.
The pest. Well, that makes sense.
It does make sense, right?
Okay.
It does. We're on YouTube Live, and we're also on Apple Podcasts. So if you go to Apple Podcasts, give us a like. Subscribe. I know we're live on YouTube and Facebook right now. I can see all your comments as you write in. You can say hi, comment on what we're talking about. There's a lot of stuff going on that we're going to talk about. Hi, John Wilson. He says, hello, everyone. And Michelle, my girl. Hey, girl, hey. That's our little thing. And Katie loves the show. Hey, Katie.
Did you know that lorazepam is a Schedule 4 drug under the public health law of the state of New York?
I know. I don't know drugs, but I will tell you, our listeners and viewers know they're drugs. So I kind of...
Raw opium is a Schedule 2 drug.
I kind of ruffled feathers already because, as you know, Revere Realty is a realty company. Tom,
yes.
You are not only the broker owner, but you're also an appraiser. And Chad, you're not only an attorney who gets letters sent to him often chastising you, but you're also the tax opposer. And you go to
the
court
tax opposer.
To protest.
My favorite name.
And take people's cases to court who believe that they have been overtaxed on their property tax, right?
That's correct.
And you're also the owner of the brokerage. So I said to these guys, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had some Revere Realty folders?
High maintenance.
And so you said, oh, yeah, I'll order them. And this was like 4 weeks ago.
Oh,
and so I say to you today,
3.5 weeks.
What if we,
Mr. Light Up Jacket.
What if we prescribe her some aliprotein or acetaminophen?
So I say to both of you as you're sitting there, I said, hey, have the folders come in yet? and you looked at Chad and you blamed Chad. And Chad, you blamed your mother. You blamed dear Chris. Chris, I am sorry.
And she has no idea.
And she doesn't even know yet.
Do you know what he... Let me just break this down. Because I said, Tom, if we want to look legit, we've got to have legit folders. We've got to have folders that say Revere Realty.
Because this podcast doesn't make us legit enough, right?
So you said, well, I talked to Chad, and Chad said, well, his mom could do it on Vista. And I'm like, this is where we are.
Right.
You're blaming your poor mom. And then you looked at each other and blamed each other.
I'm going to see what Thomas Paine has to say about this.
That is where we are. So Chad blames his mom and said, well, my mom was going to do it. And I'm like, oh, my God.
No, she doesn't even know. She will do it, though. We just have to tell her.
Fitzy, let me know when these two want to get serious.
Shannon is chiming. Shannon, your coat has its own chair. Shannon's coat. Can we put the camera on? There it is. Hi, Shannon. I'm going to pet Shannon.
That's not disturbing.
So Shannon Joy's coat is here. She joins us in spirit, but not in body. But yeah, so now Tom is
just go to Walmart and buy a few folders.
What
the fuck, Kimberly?
You like sat back in your chair.
Yes.
And you were like, and Chad's like,
freaking high maintenance.
He doesn't like it when women yell.
Hold on, there's some.
I don't like it. I don't like to get yelled at.
There's some Kleenex here.
I don't like being yelled at.
Listen,
here, Tom.
take that, sop up your mangina. You'll be okay. Order the damn folders.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Revere Realty.
Revere Realty. We need folders. At least I think we do. But yeah, so people think that.
Well, you're gonna have 3 closings this month, so I think you've earned some folders.
Thank you.
What do you think, Tom?
Can your mom make them? Will she glue? Will she decoupage them? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, you took a great picture this morning. We had our first real snowfall of the city. Yeah, there's no vaccinations, Shannon, in the pockets. I looked. I checked.
Yeah, I didn't want to be outdone by your beautiful sunrise a couple weeks ago. So
look at that.
I walked out to that this morning.
That is beautiful.
I think I see a Sasquatch in there.
that is Western New York at its most beautiful.
That's
right there.
Yeah, that's the southern end of Dranisman Park there.
Yeah. Were you out for a hike?
No, it's my backyard.
That's your backyard?
Yeah.
Wow. You fancy.
The only thing that was missing was the 8-point buck that's usually out there.
But you don't. Are you a hunter?
No.
No, you're not a hunter.
I'd like to be.
Yeah.
I just never learned. I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
I grew up on Ernst Street.
Oh, you did?
I grew up in the hood.
And then made it to Aquinas.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Well, that's because
scratching to the top.
The only other option was Franklin. So
you didn't want to go to Franklin?
No, I didn't want to go to Franklin.
In fact, the guy that called me yesterday is a graduate of Aquinas, and you know the guy, right?
I do know of him, yeah.
So this guy sees my post on Facebook for Revere Realty because, again, I've got these closings and
folders.
People, I don't have any folders. You too. But see,
Walmart.com.
You always thought you guys skated before, right? Now you actually have someone complaining and bitching at you, and you don't know what to do.
No, I just weren't afraid of them like I am you. So.
Oh, do you want my Louis Vuitton? No, Shannon, you can't have it. There it is. There's the Louis Vuitton.
Hi, Shannon.
There's her coat. So yeah, we've got these, closings coming up. I posted a picture of one of the closings that is in Irondequoit. It's in the Harbor Hill area, and those condos go before they're even, out there, right? And so someone saw them and said, "Hey,
it's called the word on the street listing."
Yeah, right, and that's really what happened. So we got very lucky. So this guy said, "Hey, you're selling houses. That's great. I've got this flip I'm doing, and again, graduated from Aquinas. You guys know each other.
AQ is the place to be.
Apparently, it is." And he said, "I'm on vacation, but I'll be back. Get me some comps in this area, and they flipped it, and it was kind of a wreck beforehand, but it's a flip on Hilton Palmer Road. So if anyone's interested, I just got to tell you, may have a listing coming up very shortly on Hilton Palmer Road. So that's a...
Did he ask for any folders?
Yes. He asked for a folder that specifically said Kimberly with Revere Realty.
Can we let the fucking folders go? Christ.
Yes. So as if 2020, which is coming to a close very soon, since today is December 2nd.
Yeah, we're getting there.
As if it could get any worse with the whole COVID. What are we now up to? Like 550, 600 cases a day? And it's only because they're testing everyone and their freaking grandma at these testing sites in Irondequoit.
Exactly.
Where you don't even, you can be asymptomatic. Of course people are going to come up, positive. They're testing everyone. There's going to be off the chart numbers. I went to get my hair done today, and my hairdresser said, I'm getting ready for the shutdown because he knows it's coming. And he thinks it's going to come by the end of the week. The shutdown everywhere. And so he goes, yeah, I'm taking like supplies home and everything like that. But as if things couldn't get worse.
Embezzling supplies.
He took all the folders home.
Listen, all the coloring, to make my freaking gray. It's the worst right there, ladies, isn't it? The gray. Anyway, so the things that you guys don't have to go through.
I use my wife's mascara on my beard.
Do you? Hair club for men. The keg tree at the
Genesee
Brew House.
That's our favorite place to spend money.
That was us last year, my husband and I. And my husband and I, on Christmas Eve, in front of the keg tree. And generally, we were never able to make it down there for the lighting. But the lighting is a very big thing. But we were always on the air when I was, doing the radio show. We were on the air until 7 o'clock at night.
Why weren't you standing up in that picture?
I am standing
Is Rich
up.
like 7 foot tall? I met Rich, but I didn't realize he was that tall. Were you standing up?
And that's me with like boots on. I'm standing up.
He's taller than the tree.
Are you implying that I'm on my knees? Never.
I was not implying that.
No, we weren't.
No, seriously though, how tall is Rich? Is he?
Rich is almost 6'5". He's 6'4.5".
Really?
You've been married way too long for that.
I know.
I met him. I didn't realize I had to look up that high.
How tall is he?
Because I'm only
He is
5'9"
6'4".
and 3/4.
He's 6'4".
He's 6'4".
Yes.
Yeah. So the keg tree. They're not going to build it. They're not going to light it.
No, it
We're not
attracts
all going to
COVID.
get lit. We're not going to go down there and stand outside. The restaurant that we went to before this picture of Rich and I at the keg tree, Morton's. We went from Morton's
Steakhouse
on Christmas Eve,
High Rollers,
right down to the keg tree. Morton's is gone. You know why Morton's is gone?
Because they're racist.
They couldn't. No.
They don't like the city.
Because they couldn't survive the COVID. They couldn't survive the shutdown. Listen, they weren't doing great beforehand.
She dines at Morton's. She can't buy her own folders.
He said, "Shut up about the folders."
I'm speechless.
Shut up about the folders.
All right, I'm done with the
speechless.
I'm done with the folders.
Have you ever been down with your family to the? It's like
I never went to Morton's. No.
It's become not Morton's.
Downtown.
The keg tree.
Yes, I have been to the keg tree. That's me and Tom's favorite place to go every December.
We like it there.
Okay.
We go to lunch there all the time.
I've never eaten there. I have
because you're at Morton's.
I've stood out in the parking lot and have bought, from the vendors outside that sell their beer when they have big to-dos.
So you tailgate at the Genesee Brew House?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
Yes.
She's like our kind of people.
Dean Jones is a good friend of mine, and I'm sad that they're not going to have it this year.
He's a good friend of yours, but yet you don't eat there.
Coronavirus I drink the beer, though.
Oh, okay.
Coronavirus has
12
ruined
horse.
everything. And the fact of the matter is
the
that
politicians and the lawmakers and the Dr. Mendozas of the world have ruined everything. But I digress.
But so true, though. I mean, you're right. There is Chris. Already checked out the folder.
I'm telling you, they're going to be in by Monday.
There's Mom. There's
Chris. Do you have the logo?
I just need Revere and a very classy blue folder. You know what to do. But so the vaccinations. So they're rolling out the vaccinations. Here's
The first one's in Shannon's coat pocket over there.
I know. Well,
I think Shannon's jacket can file a sexual harassment suit.
I'm feeling up Shannon's coat. But I was looking for vaccinations because I know Shannon loves vaccinations.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, and you look on the internet, and if you don't have to look very long to find something really funny. And of course, now everyone's talking about the vaccinations, and they say 40 million are going to be, rolled out, before the end of the month nationwide. Only 170,000 of those are going to be given out in New York. I guess nursing homes and health workers are going to get them first, but don't run out to get in any line because again, people will bowl you over. All I can see is like a mass herd of people, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. But so
there's a 99.9% recovery rate if you're under the age of 55, but hurry up and get that vaccine.
Hurry up and get the vaccination.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
So I look, and the first thing that pops up this morning is this is what happens when you get the vaccination.
That's what happens.
His eyes look like a couple of balloons.
That's what happens when Kimberly asked Tom if he ordered the folders yet. That's what Tom looked like about 25 minutes ago.
That's it.
It's over.
It's over.
He's taking the headset off.
Can we at least pick a day we're drinking?
That's it. That's what you're going to look like
Right.
if you get the vaccination.
Was that Dr.
Homer
Fauci?
Simpson?
That was Dr. Fauci.
So yeah, I mean, but again, it's going to be like all of a sudden, it's going to be like the convergence of the Hunger Games on the cornucopia and this and that. Everyone's going to want it, but you're not going to be able to get it, and you're not going to be able to get it for a long time.
Doesn't the vaccine actually give you COVID? Isn't that how a vaccine works?
Yeah, it gives you some semblance of the disease so that your body can react to it. And,
all of a sudden, you start showing signs of lighting up from
Tom, take
coat
your cue.
jackets.
Take your cue here.
You light up. There you go.
You're supposed to try to look like him again. There you go.
So they roll. I mean, I'm not going to be in line to get any kind of vaccination. I know you guys aren't going to be in line to get any vaccination.
No.
But
never.
you know how the sheep are out there, right?
Bah!
Not anybody watching the show. You're not going to run out with the rest of the sheep.
Yeah, you are.
December 12th, the first vaccinations could happen. I mean, according to the head of Operation Warp Speed, I guess, right? Right? Whoop, whoop, go
Let's
get
see
the
what the
vaccination.
public health law says about this.
January 31st, 50 million Americans could be vaccinated by January 1st. February, March, at 30 to 40% immunity, the spread will become slower. April, May, when spring rolls around, widely available vaccine and very little virus. Isn't that what happens every spring? The flu thing kind of goes away. The colds, the whatever's going on, that just kind of goes away. Goes without saying that the virus is going to go down. It goes without saying that everyone's together over Thanksgiving and people are going to, get colds and stuff. It happens.
No, I locked myself in my room for Thanksgiving. I wanted to follow all the rules.
What rules? You're like so not. What rule would you be following?
These ones. Look at all these rules.
That's a lot of rules.
This is just the criminal law of New York.
Really?
There's a book this thick for 8 million other things too.
So I know when I talk to the guy who does my hair, and his name's Robert, and he does a great job making sure that I don't look, my hair doesn't look its age. So he said, yeah, they're having stylists come that were at salons in the orange zone that got shut down. So they're coming to work at all these salons that are in the yellow zone because these people
that makes sense
don't have jobs, and we're 23 days from Christmas.
Yeah,
and people don't have jobs.
So you're saying all these people from the orange zone are now driving to the yellow zone? That's what you're saying?
Well, they're working at places where they can work.
Right.
I would assume
it's called science, right? Hashtag science. and we're the science deniers, right?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, it's trying to get unemployment for these people. By the time Christmas,
I already got unemployment.
We have to break that down.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
So by the time these people go, okay, so I'm not employed, I've got to refile again with New York State. It's going to take a 2 to 3 week time period. They have no money for Christmas. How are they going to? There's going to be no Christmas for these people. There's going to be no Christmas dinner. There's going to be, no presents for the kids. It's a horrible thing. Shutting down everything.
Just do what my grandfather used to say. He was happy he got clothespins for Christmas to play with.
I told you.
Play in the yard with your clothespins.
I told you what Thomas Paine had to say about it, right?
I know, right?
That's our government, a necessary evil, right?
Oh, it's just, makes me so mad. So unemployment. So you were the guy that got the letter today.
I got a letter today.
Dear Mr. Morgan.
Dear Mr. Morgan.
Yes. And it wasn't Blue's Clues either.
Someone has stolen your identity.
Somebody stole my identity, at least as far as I know.
And my response, who would want to be a turkey?
I don't know. I got an unemployment card in the mail.
Who would want to be a candy cane?
The only thing that made me upset was the card was only worth $182. I mean, really? Shouldn't it have been more?
I don't know how it works, unemployment. I mean, I don't get
Shouldn't you by now?
Well, no, I had to stop when I started working. I had to stop taking unemployment. That's called fraud.
Okay.
I don't want to be that girl. I mean, I don't even think Chad could help me at that point. But once you start working, the unemployment has to stop, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I was getting way more than $182.
Yeah, the state sent me free money.
When I was getting unemployment, I was getting $504. I think that's the max that you can get, $504 a week. So, but whoever stole your identity.
I'm only worth 182. I don't understand that, but I mailed the card back to the state. Of course I did.
Did you?
Yes, I mailed it back.
That's a shame. We could have bought a few drinks with that.
Does it scare you that someone stole your identity to the point where they have your social security? They have your social security number.
It doesn't scare me as much as you looking at me about folders, but yes, it does scare me.
I've never seen anyone like back down and cower in a corner.
I'm afraid of women.
There he is.
Right.
There's the I didn't order folders face.
Don't be a turkey.
Yeah. So they're saying 40 million vaccinations right now. And then, hopefully everyone is vaccinated by next year. I don't know.
I thought it was going to be a long winter. Isn't that what Fauci was saying?
I'm going to let this one roll by. I'm a big.
You won't let the folders go, but you're going to let COVID roll by.
She's going to let the vaccine roll by.
I'm a big believer in vaccinations.
Okay.
Polio, good thing. Measles, very good vaccination. Those kind of things. Need those vaccinations. COVID right now, I don't know that you need it. I don't. Maybe the old people in the nursing home, but I don't know that you need it.
Yeah, that, and if it's as effective as the flu vaccine, then it's almost pointless anyway, right? I mean, there's multiple strains. The strains keep changing for the flu every year.
Yeah.
They try to predict what strain is going to come out, and they admittedly mispredict that all the time.
Every year. Every single year. And so, of course, you know that the Webster's Dictionary word of the year, you know what that is?
COVID.
Pandemic.
Mask up.
Pandemic.
We just can't get away from it, right? It's pandemic.
Men donuts.
I'm just waiting. I think it's going to come this week. That's going to be like a red zone. Or do you think they're smarter now and they're not going to shut down?
No, it's coming.
You think?
Well, you saw what happened in New York City yesterday, right? Was that yesterday or Monday?
With the guy and the sheriffs arresting the
Max Pub.
Yeah. So there is an owner of an ale house called Max Public House. It's in Staten Island, and this guy said, "You know what? Screw you. I'm not shutting down my place of business. I have to make a living.
He has to work. He has to feed his family. He has to provide employment for people who have to feed their families."
Yeah. Here is a little bit of a guy losing his mind outside of Max Public House in Staten Island.
All right, I'm out here in front of Max Public House, 130 Lincoln Avenue, being raided by the fucking sheriff's department, okay? This tiny little place trying to make a fucking living, okay? 350 people on an airplane, thousands of planes, okay? This close to each other. Costco's open, Home Depot, people lined up, backed up with each other. This guy can't open his fucking business. It's shame on you fucking people. Shame on everybody for letting this fucking happen. There should be 1,000 people out here right now while they're getting fucking raided by the goddamn Gestapo. Tomorrow is Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. I want this fucking street shut down
Tonight.
with 10,000 fucking people. Because if we don't show up and show fucking face, we're going to lose this whole fucking battle. Disgusting. You should all be fucking disgusted with yourselves. If they fear you, they won't fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? Get the fuck out here tomorrow night, Wednesday. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, in front of Max Public House. This is disgusting.
Was that an episode of the Jersey Shore? What was that?
I think that's.
I think that was an
Sopranos.
episode of our podcast.
Is that your brother, Chad? That's your
What the
brother.
hell?
That's your brother from another mother.
I got it. I gotta say, I mean, all kidding aside, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and what he speaks, of course, is the truth, right?
Yes.
And honest to God, when I got up this morning and I saw that video, I literally looked at my watch and it was 9:15. And I said to myself, I could be there by shoot, we got the podcast tonight.
Well, Shannon's here.
So I
You're
wanted
going to go down to Staten Island and be with that guy?
Yes, I wanted to be. I was
needed to come get her coat anyway.
I was going to call Fitzy and see if he could come with me, and maybe we could do like a live from there, or I could be our beat reporter on the street.
You could have been the beat reporter on the street in Staten Island.
That's what I was thinking of doing.
Have you ever been to Staten Island in your life?
Probably not.
No.
I think I reported a couple shows ago that I've only been to New York City 2 or 3 times in my entire life. I have no.
I mean, I've been to
reason go
Hoboken
there.
and Jersey City, but that's and New York City, but I've never been to Staten Island. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to Queens. That's all the boroughs. I never made it out to Staten Island. Long Island. Been to Long Island. That's it. That guy is lit up. But here's what he tried to do. The owner declared the bar an autonomous zone, which worked for the protesters and Antifa in Seattle.
Correct.
Where they said the autonomous zone, they claimed control over a whole sector of a neighborhood of Seattle. That worked for them for how many days in Seattle? How many days
Over
did
a
that
month.
work? Over a month, right?
Well, and here's the real
30 days that lasted.
Yeah.
But for this guy, he can't keep his business open to work and raise money for his family because they brought in the Gestapo and shut him down.
And here's the real issue. When it worked for the people in Seattle, when it worked for the people in Seattle, they were actually engaged in regular criminal behavior. They were rioting, they were looting, they were creating disorderly conduct on the street.
Other people,
They were assaulting police officers. These individuals here in New York City are doing nothing but was 100% perfectly legal 90 days ago, even a couple weeks ago, before that bar was declared an orange zone and had to be shut down. They're just Americans working.
That's it.
That's all they're doing.
That's all.
They're engaged in lawful conduct, but for unlawful dictates. And they're not allowed to do that under the guise of an autonomous zone. But if you actually commit a crime and call it an autonomous zone, then it's suddenly not a crime anymore.
Isn't that weird how that works?
It's just bizarre.
And it's sickening.
It's bizarre.
It is sickening. And I'm with this guy. I'm like, yeah, I love this guy.
All right, I'm out here in front of Max Public House, 130 Lincoln Avenue, being raided by the fucking sheriff's department. Okay, this tiny little place trying to make a fucking living. Okay, 350 people on an airplane, thousands of planes. Okay, this close to each other. Costco's open, Home Depot, people lined up, backed up with each other. This guy can't open his fucking business. It's shame on you fucking people. Shame on everybody for letting this fucking happen. There should be 1,000 people out here right now. Well, they're getting fucking raided by the goddamn Gestapo. Tomorrow is Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. I want this fucking street shut down with 10,000 fucking people. Because if we don't show up and show fucking face, we're gonna lose this whole fucking battle. Disgusting. You should all be fucking disgusted with yourselves. If they fear you, they won't fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? Get the fuck out here tomorrow night, Wednesday. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, in front of Max Public House. This is disgusting.
He's right. He's absolutely right.
Tom's our built-in censor.
If they fear you, they won't fuck with you.
Beep.
Thank you. I mean, the guy's right on the money. But people make it seem like he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
They're the bad guy. They've turned this around. It's like
our friend Brian was born on Staten Island.
It's like opposite. Oh, that's a Brian.
Did you get 2-for-1 happy hour tonight?
Now I know what's wrong with you, Brian. You were born on Staten Island.
So let me tell you,
10-cent wings and 2-for-1 happy hour at Max tonight.
I just hate that they've turned it around and made good, hardworking, honest human beings, New Yorkers, look like they're the bad guys. All of a sudden, you're trying to operate a business and you're the bad guy. How did that happen? How did it get so turned around and upside down. Can we ask ourselves that? That's insane to me.
That's because we're racist.
We're racist individuals. You know, I had to call a ballless twit today on some troll on Twitter, and there are a lot of them, right? And so I said, you know, we hit last week our 10th episode of Kimberly's Revolution. And thanks to you guys, Revere Realty, sponsoring the show, and also Fantuzo's Acupuncture, which we really appreciate Fantuzo's Acupuncture. First signed on to Kimberly's Revolution with Revere. They are amazing. I mean, but, you know, here's the fact. You're just trying to out there. You're just, you know, trying to, you know, make sure that we're doing the best job and getting our podcast out there. So I tweeted, hey, we hit our 10th one, our 10th episode. I never thought there'd really be one. And I posted a little clip of our first podcast that we did going back to September. And somebody posted something ridiculous. Someone without a picture. Someone without a name. You know, one of those faceless, nameless Twitter trolls.
But they did have a folder.
But they had a folder. And they said, oh, but you guys are racist. And I'm like, you're a freaking nameless, you know, faceless person.
I thought it was ballless.
You are a ballless twit, is what I called him. And then I blocked him because I don't have time for that.
I think that was Tom's Twitter account.
It might have been.
I don't got time. Do you have time for ballless twits? I don't. Listen, you want to say something to me on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, stand up and identify yourself. Don't hide behind some, you know, cat picture.
Or just stand,
right?
stand behind Rich. Nobody will see you.
I know exactly, right? So then on Facebook, do you sext with your wives?
Huh?
Do you like on the phone? Do you send like pictures do you like sext?
I do with Tom. Tom's my wife.
I mean, because you've been married a long time, right?
I'm gonna.
I don't sext on the phone because
I'm gonna read my book now.
I don't want to.
Fitzy, cut me out of this
Send
segment,
him a good
please.
one right now, Kimberly.
I don't actually want to make a mistake and send it to someone else. So this guy reaches out over the weekend and said,
Chad,
hey,
why is your book in Chinese?
do you shop in Penfield? And I'm like, okay, that's way random. And I didn't respond. I'm not friends with the guy on Facebook. So then he said something, yeah, I thought I saw you in Penfield. I didn't respond. He goes, I'm really sorry for the randomness of whatever. And I finally responded and I said, yeah, that's okay, LOL. Hey, I really like your podcast. That's okay, that's nice. Thanks for liking the podcast. Appreciate that. Then he's like,
stalkers are welcome to view the podcast.
Then he's
We're
like,
good with that.
you know, I deliver for Pepsi. And I'm like, well, that's boo. I'm a Coke girl. I drink Coke.
Yeah, me too.
So he's like, drives a truck for Pepsi. And he goes, can I send you a picture? And I'm like, oh, this can't be good. No. It's
not going to be his cat?
No. And I didn't respond. And this morning, I wake up, and on my Facebook Messenger is a picture of this guy. It's that whole middle region.
Really?
And I'm like, dude, I'm 55. He's like in his 20s. What are you doing?
So you're saying you liked it?
No, I deleted.
You have a smile on your face.
I delete because I laughed so hard. I'm like,
okay.
Is this where
guy is trying to send me a dick pic and is not realizing that I'm probably his mother's age.
Is this where I disavow?
So you guys don't like send sexy pictures to your wives?
No. I would like to, but I think that would make it worse for
you
her.
have 4 children. I know you do, Chad.
I would do that, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet with my pager.
Right. Of course you have.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Dr. Beeper.
Hey, I got something. Did you shop online? I've got something that you can find online that you will certainly get a lot of looks. Did you do any online shopping? Did you? Because Black Friday was a bust.
Whoa,
right?
You can't say that on the radio.
Black Friday. I don't want to be
Beep.
racist. Black Friday was a bust.
Right.
I think everyone's just been shopping online. But you can get this mask, and I guarantee you will make so many friends. Wearing a mask is
Stupid.
Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
You can order that on redbubble.com. Redbubble.com is where you can get that mask. We should all have that mask.
I don't wear masks.
You could walk into Wegmans. Can you imagine how many looks that you're going to get from all? You can walk into like the mothership of Wegmans in Pittsford. Hello. And you can wear that, and I guarantee you will get
Chad
some looks.
gets those looks because he doesn't even wear a mask.
Do you think they would ask you to leave if you had that on? That's my question.
No.
I think we have to get some and just test them out.
Are they more important than the folders? Because I might be able to get the masks quicker.
My mom's working on the masks as we speak.
Mask
Chris, we need some masks, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're online, redbubble.com. Did you guys do any ordering at all?
No.
No.
Lori went Black Friday shopping. I went golfing. It was such a nice day. Then we got hammered afterwards.
Thanks for inviting me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Got hammered.
It was a great day.
Very good. Now, I did a little bit of shopping, but not much. So you should redbubble.com is where you can get that mask right there. I think everyone should have one. So
The mask of that guy's face? Oh, you mean the mask?
When are we going to get into the law book, Kimberly?
we're going to get to the law book right now. So
I'm ready.
there is a guy.
Is this going to cost us $150 an hour, Chad?
$250.
There is a
$250 an
guy
hour?
in
Thought I still got a discount.
1971.
1971.
This guy whose name was Anthony Bottom, who now goes by the name Jaleel Muntequim.
For the record, there's only one person in the room right now that wasn't born yet.
In 1971?
Fitzy?
You.
That's correct.
Because I was born.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I was born in 65.
I was already married.
So, we're not. So this guy, like all inmates do, they find education and
Right.
religion in prison. And so for 50 years, this guy has been sitting in a prison because what did he do? He murdered 2 NYPD officers
That's a slap on the wrist now.
in cold blood when he was a member of the Black Liberation Army.
That's racist.
Anthony Bottom, who again took place in the shooting deaths of these New York police officers, then was finally, and that was in May of 1971, was arrested finally in August for the attempted murder of a San Francisco police sergeant. So this guy murdering 2 officers in cold blood wasn't good enough. They were trying to make it, a triple, right? So he goes to prison for 50 years. In prison, he has the ability to get an education. He amasses several, not one college education, but several degrees, right? So he's got several degrees behind him. I don't know in what.
Does he get his student loans repaid by Joe Biden once?
I don't think
And
he has any
obvious-
loans. I think he has several degrees and doesn't have to pay a damn penny to anyone.
They
ever.
obviously don't have Netflix in prison, so that's all he can do, right?
Right. So this guy named Jaleel Muntequim is finally released on parole by the parole board.
That's
and
his new name, right?
Jaleel Muntequim, yeah. His real name is Anthony Bottom because, again, once he got into prison, he, found religion, became a Muslim, blah, 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 has an education now. And they let him out. And when they let him out into Brighton. And he's sitting around with his public defender.
I think Brighton had a parade for him, didn't they?
I don't know.
The supervisor came out and
He's sitting around with his public defender and his mother. And, poor Jaleel.
His
or
mother's still alive? God bless her.
Anthony Bottom.
she lives in Georgia.
They gave him a packet by the He wrote an article for the city newspaper about how all the charges should be dropped against Anthony Bottom because he made a mistake. First off, he starts out, everyone everybody makes a bad decision once in a while. I get up every morning and I make the conscious decision not to go out and murder 2 police officers.
I made a bad decision by coming here today. That's for sure.
Right? So, we make a bad decision of like we're going to skate through a stop sign, right? We make a bad decision of we're going to, I don't know, we're not going to call back our mom, or we're not going to, return an email to our boss, or maybe we make a bad decision. We're not going to go into work today. We're just going to play sick. Bad decisions. The bad decision that David Andrietta said that this guy did was, murder 2 police officers and then filled out a wrong form. But here's the way I see it. David Andrietta is not so much wrong as he is misguided. This is why people hate the media. It's not a bad decision to murder 2 cops. It's a horrible thing to take a human being from their family. These 2 police officers will never have the ability to vote or go out and be with their families they're dead at the hands of this guy.
Yeah, they made him a victim.
But here's the problem is that David Andrietta is blaming everyone but the dude for filling out the paper. Now, I would think that Jaleel Muntaquim and his public defender, and this got to be a stupid public defender, but I don't know any smart public defenders. I'll say that right now. They're about as dumb as a box of rocks, the whole, lot of them.
When do I get to jump in?
Right now. He should never get to vote. I don't care if the guy does 50 years, 70 years, whatever. Never get to vote. And if you're not smart enough to realize, Mr. College degree man that got a free education in prison, that you're not supposed to fill out the voter registration form because you're a felon, you deserve to go back to prison. I'm sorry, Mr. Andrietta. This is not a Sandra Dorley district attorney issue, which his last line said, now it's Sandra Dorley's turn to correct her bad decision because she's bringing the guy up on charges. As well she should.
I disavow.
Does Letitia approve of you giving this legal advice, Chad?
Who? Letitia who?
Right.
Exactly.
So, look, there's a lot there, right? There's a lot to unpack there.
There's really not.
There is. There's the way I see it, generally speaking, there's 3 issues there that you just touched on. Let me just dispel one of the issues real quick.
Okay.
And that is about the public defender's office. So.
Not very smart individuals?
No. There's actually, I've worked with many public defenders over the years.
Yeah.
Co-counsel on cases. There are, believe it or not, and I do get, honestly, I do get the perception that's out there.
Yeah.
There's been many times where I've gone into the jail to meet with a client, and others will come up to the jail. Mm-hmm. There'll be multiple people inside a particular jail cell, right? They're waiting to go into court. It's called the bullpen.
Sure.
There'll be 30 people, and 2 or 3 people will come up to me and they'll say, are you a public defender or are you a real lawyer? Right? So that is a very...
Are you a public defender or are you a real lawyer?
Yeah, so there is that perception out there.
It's a legitimate question.
But there are public defenders. I said this year in one of the Monroe County, I believe it was for county court. I think it was for Supreme Court. Julie Sianka was running for Supreme Court,
right.
And she's been a longtime public defender. And I said something on social media in support of her campaign that is true, for me personally. And that is, if I was ever arrested, Julie Sianka would be on my top 3 list for criminal defense attorneys to call. And she's been a public defender for multiple decades. So there are, Eric Teifke's another one, phenomenal public defender. These are people that if you were charged with a crime and you couldn't afford my retainer, I would say, call this individual. If you qualify for the public defender, or see if you can work out an arrangement where you pay the public defender's office on a sliding scale. So we'll put that issue aside.
Okay, so
if
the guy, Anthony Bottom, the cop killer, who is now living in Brighton with his mother, is sitting there with his mother and the public defender. Don't you think as his public defender, you might go through the packet and say, hey, old Jaleel, Anthony, you might not want to sign that paper that says go ahead and register to vote
but we don't
because
know,
you're a felon.
But we don't know if his public defender was sitting with him when he filled out that paperwork, do we? Is that what they're alleging?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That his public defender was there with him when he received the packet and filled out the paperwork.
Well, if that's the case, and that's what I wanted to get into. That was going to be one of the issues. Let me address the third issue that was in there, and then I'll get into the meat and potatoes of what he's actually charged with. But if the whole idea of what Dave Andriotta opens up his article with, I mean, that just tells you where Dave's head is.
Everyone makes a bad decision every once in a while, and then goes into the fact that the guy shot and killed two NYPD officers.
That's tone deaf at best. That's tone deaf at best.
Yeah.
And that's just
misguided and
reprehensible.
Yeah.
At worst. I mean, it just shows where his head's at. It shows what the purpose of him writing the article is to try to make the cop killer the victim. I think, as Tom mentioned.
I hate that.
The cop killer's
liberal,
not the victim.
It's liberal schlock.
Yeah, it really is.
What it is.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
That's
is
horrible
making him
on
that
Dave's
he's
part.
not the victim.
Yeah.
He's
but
not.
As far as what he's charged with, though, right? If we could possibly put aside for a second the fact that he's a cop killer, I mean, we could argue or not argue about whether he should have been out, right? I mean, I think at least the three of us here would agree that he shouldn't have gotten out. But he did. He was paroled.
He was.
He shouldn't have been. He was a cop killer. He shouldn't have been paroled. He is a cop killer. He shouldn't have been paroled. But now that he is paroled, the question becomes, is he guilty of what he was charged with? Should he have been charged with what he was charged with? And one of the felonies that he was charged with was offering a false instrument for filing.
Right.
And that goes to presumably the voter application form. So there's a couple different things there. Without getting too far into the weeds, as we like to say.
Yeah.
It is possible, right? We've all been there where a piece of paper is put in front of us. And even as an attorney, I have pieces of paper that are put in front of me all the time that have a shit ton of small print on them. And we often don't read things and we sign things.
Well, if
we
you've
look
been in
at
prison
things
for 50
as a whole.
years, yeah, but okay, I get it.
It's a packet of papers.
You have a packet of papers, and if you've been in prison for 50 years,
you just start signing everything.
Don't you think it would behoove you to maybe read what you're signing?
Sure, in hindsight.
Read what you're signing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Does the weeds go with the packets of papers?
The weed? Did you say weed?
No, they don't go.
They don't go together?
They don't go together.
Packets of papers and weeds?
But at the end of the day, he can't be guilty of this crime unless they can prove intent. They have to prove that he intentionally tried to defraud the government by registering to vote. And if he just simply filled out a form, and did he offer it for filing? I mean, who did he give this form to? Did he take it to the Monroe County Clerk's office?
I
did
think
he take
it was
it
filed,
to the Board of
actually.
Elections?
Yeah, I think it was.
No, I know, but did he? How did that happen? You have to look at the totality of the circumstances and try to figure out if you look at all the circumstances and it appears that he was out to try to register to vote, knowing that he was not legally able to register to vote, versus just simply signing his name on the dotted line on 15 forms that were in a pile.
Right.
I think it's going to be, some pretty tough uphill sledding for Sandra Dorley's office to get a conviction on that.
And I don't know that she's going to go forward with it. I mean, I don't. She wouldn't comment.
There's a lot of political pressure
but
to not.
I pick up this and I'm like, and the city newspaper. I mean, it is it's not a bad read.
Yes,
you get
it
some
is.
good
It's
stuff
horrible.
in it.
When I want to get aggravated and pissed off, I read that.
David, you're better than this. I read that and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Who calls it a bad decision to murder two cops? I don't.
Maybe Dave wants to write an article and clarify whether that's what he meant. It seems obvious that's what he meant by that. But maybe he wants to clarify that.
Knowing
Twitter
him, he probably doesn't want to because we're probably the ones in the wrong. We're not seeing the big picture.
Yeah.
But,
he's enlightened and we're not. He's woke.
Isn't that what they call it?
Yeah. We're not woke.
Everyone's woke and we're not. But this is why people hate the media. Right here, guys, when you do articles like this, and you're better than that.
And you make a cop killer a victim on the opening sentence of your article.
Pissed me off to no end when I read that. I was like, are you serious?
Now I know why you attacked me on the folders today.
I did. I attacked you. That and speaking of the other story I have, is this bad decision that a guy is it in Messina?
Yes,
no, I'm not sure where Messina is. Tell me where Messina is.
That's up by where my grandfather was born in Malone.
Yeah, it's up in the North Country.
It's up on the Thousand Islands, the St. Lawrence River.
Canadian border.
There's your Democratic mayor of Messina right there.
It's where the big lock is. The big ships go through.
Oh, the big ships go through.
Yeah.
Fun. So not a lot to do up there except for crack and watch the ships,
Watch
right?
the ships go through the lock. Did I say ships? Watch the ships go through the lock.
I think whatever you said was what happens when you're reading that book back at Revere Realty, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Thomas Paine book.
So it can't be racism, right? Because a white guy got arrested.
White guy got arrested.
There goes that narrative.
Mayor.
All right, let's move on.
Democrat, and former, I think he was a former, police chief? He got arrested for leading police on a high-speed chase early this morning or yesterday and threw crack out of his window.
Allegedly.
Was he driving a snowmobile? I mean,
What the hell is going on with the guy?
right.
You know, you look at that, you're 55 years old, and I just thought it was funny that he's the mayor and the former police chief.
He spent too much time wearing his mask, so his oxygen levels were probably low. That would be my defense if I
You're the mayor and the
lucky enough to
police
get hired.
chief, and you're doing crack. Leading police on a
Crack
high-speed
kills.
chase down the road. What? I thought, hold on.
I want some crack. I want some crack.
I want some crack.
I want some crack.
Elizabeth says, hey, my school taxes went up. Can Chad fix my house assessment? Well, I don't know that you can fix house assessments, right?
We can work on it.
What can you do?
Well, if your property's overvalued by the town, you contact us and we review it. And if we think we can prove that it's overvalued by the town, we get it lowered 97% of the time.
Nice.
Yeah. It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Speaking of Democrats, you saw the big to-do that apparently happened last week.
Hardly even advertised.
Why?
Didn't even hear about it.
Did
till
Joe
this morning.
Biden die or something? What did I miss?
Hunter is still around, by the
Hunter.
way. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Fitzy took all of his pencils away so I wouldn't break any more of them.
the DA's office seized records and computers from the county Democrat committee office.
Yeah.
Aren't they a month late on that?
That was last week.
They found Tom's 7 votes.
Yeah.
Would it take so long for the news to get out there?
Sure. it
I'm
does,
sorry. Is
Daisy.
there no one really around to do the news? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
sorry. I digress.
Does anyone know what they were investigating?
So
I mean, what are they looking for?
They were looking for records that I guess are tied to the illegal fundraising of Mayor Lovely
that's
Warren
right.
and all of her cronies.
Lovely.
And apparently the Democratic chairwoman at the time is now Lovely Warren's chief of staff.
Have you noticed? Have you noticed
Shocking.
that we have not heard from Lovely Warren
At all.
in over 2 months, maybe 3 months now?
Since the indictment?
riots.
Since
the indictment and the riots.
Yeah.
Basically, she's crawled in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, and if I remember, the last chief of staff, he got on the wrong side of her, and she just cut him loose, right? So now she's got a new chief of staff that looks like she could be in trouble as well. The former Democratic Party committee chairwoman, Brittany Wells, who is now Lovely Warren's chief of staff. And I guess there's some issue. First off, the Democrats can't get out of their way. You and I have talked about this
No,
before.
they're all corrupt.
The Democrats can't get out of their own way. They can't see them, themselves to like come together. So they're all factions of the Democrats in this area, just like they're all over the country. And the infighting is insidious.
Yep.
And it will tear them apart.
And there literally is it's funny because they're the ones that are always throwing the racism card around.
Always.
And they literally have a white and black faction right now in
Absolutely.
local Monroe County Democrat politics. It's the Lovely Warren, David Gant now deceased, but
Yep.
it's the top down David Gant Lovely Warren faction versus the Joe Morelli faction.
Absolutely.
And Joe Morelli's running, trying to, hold on to his mob like power
Yeah.
around here.
Absolutely.
He's moving Dave Seeley. The word on the street is he's moving Dave Seeley out of Irondequoit. Dave Seeley's not going to rerun for Irondequoit Town Supervisor because he's going to be getting the position at RIT.
Yes.
$180,000 a year is going to be Dave Seeley's payoff for sitting over at the Irondequoit Town Hall for the past 4 years.
It's a lot of folders.
Yeah. And his position's going to be the liaison to the federal government. It's basically how money is going to get funneled back and forth from the federal government to RIT for their, quote unquote research project.
Isn't that fun how that all works
It's
when you have
unreal.
buddies in high places?
It's unreal.
So you have that situation.
But you
have
can't
the
run a salon.
factions.
You can't run a
You
salon
run
in
a
the city
salon.
of Rochester right now.
You have
though.
the factions fighting. So the one faction said, "Ha ha, we'll get you guys. we'll sick Sandra Dorley on you guys, and they'll come and they'll raid the offices and they'll take the computers, and then you guys are going to be really in trouble. And it all ties down to a difference on opinion of how the fundraising was going to be divvied up. Doesn't it always come down to money?
Follow the money.
Doesn't it always come down to money? Money is
And folders.
is the root of all evil. Give me that. Would you have a list of all the things that you have watched?
What?
Tom made a
I
list.
did homework.
I said that Kimberly's Revolution, by the way, with Revere Realty.
I bring classic works of art written by Thomas Paine. I bring the New York Penal Code, and you want to read Tom's list of movies that he watched last week.
COVID-19
Unreal.
movies
Yes.
and shows that you have watched. Okay.
I'm busy.
So one of them on here is Ozark.
Ozark, yes.
Can we add up
Loved it.
before we leave here? I want to add up the hours that each one of those episodes is, or each one of those movies. I want to know how
Why?
many hours he spent.
There's no way. There's hours and hours.
I don't do a lot of sleeping, Chad.
I want to see all the hours that are logged there on that sheet.
So Ozark is on there,
Do you want me to give you an official review on Ozark?
and I've watched Ozark. It is amazing. And
It's
if you
dark and slow, but it should be better than it is.
It
I
is
think-
amazing.
I think
I don't know what he's
Bateman's
talking
really
about.
good in it.
It's not dark and slow.
It's dark and slow.
It is not.
Our podcast is turning into a book review,
There-
Fitzy.
there's- Julia Garner-
It's unreal.
There should be way
Unacceptable.
more killing.
Julia
More
Garner
people should die there.
as Ruthie is phenomenal. But I will tell you, so speaking of Jason Bateman, he's in this show that I just found by accident on
Yeah.
HBO Max last night, and it's called Outsiders. It's based on a Stephen King novel,
He's one of my favorites.
not a
Jason.
Thomas Paine novel. It's actually
Right.
interesting. And it's weird. It's got this, there's a lot of death, and there's like a small town sheriff that's trying to get Jason.
So it's better than Ozark.
Jason Bateman plays a guy that they think murdered this kid, but there's some hooded creature that kind of walks around. It's a weird thing.
The children of Israel being oppressed by the Midianites.
No.
Gideon marched against them with a small army.
I
and
have no
victory
idea what
through
he's
the
doing.
divine interposition
Yeah.
decided in his favor. The Jews elate with success and attributing it to the generalship of Gideon. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so thank you.
What are you guys talking about?
So,
So then the movies,
Kimberly,
yes.
I give Ozark
Jeez.
4 out of 5 golf
4
balls.
out of 5.
That's it. It's
4 out
over.
of 5
I don't know
golf
how
balls.
many hours that you possibly, but this is a lot of shows.
Yes. Well, for the first 3 months, we couldn't even do anything.
Can I just tell you, Good Girls is phenomenal.
Good Girls is great.
Love Good Girls.
Yep.
Love Ozark. Love The Travelers.
Yes.
You and I watch a lot of the same stuff.
I'm all about weird
You
science
have 4
fiction
kids.
stuff.
You don't, and you're an attorney. You don't have time to
My kids are
watch
gone.
TV.
I have
My
a
kid-
couple jobs.
Hey, you know the McRib is out today?
It is?
The McRib.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, I don't have ADD or anything at all. I'm just saying.
I like the McRib.
I love the McRib.
They have them at Speedway every day.
They don't have McRibs at Speedway.
Well, they're called McSpeedways, I guess. I don't know. They have them McRib at Speedway.
Can I just ask
comes-
you something?
No
It comes with a pickle on it.
Mix shit.
you don't-
You're getting your ribs at Speedway or McDonald's. It's mixed
You
shit.
don't eat gas station food, do you?
Every once in
It
a
could be
while.
better than
What's wrong with
McDonald's.
gas station food.
You eat gas station food?
My kids grew up on Godfather's Pizza. They're healthy.
Ay.
Blimpy,
that is-
Blimpy subs and Godfather's Pizza. What's wrong with it?
The McRib. I mean, I don't know.
about a home-
$5 for a whole pizza.
How about
I
a
know
home cooked meal?
You wear Speedway swag. You have the
Yes.
jacket.
Yeah.
I covet
I'm working
that
on getting your own.
jacket.
I'm going to have to pull a few strings to do that.
Everyone
My mom will
should
have to make it.
have a Speedway jacket. Your poor mom. All of a sudden, she has to make folders.
Speedway
She-
jackets.
She has to do all these things. Hey, again, it's Kimberly's Revolution. We want to thank Fantuzo's Acupuncture. If you're having issues, if you want to get back to that all holistic way of kind of living, if you don't want to go see a doctor and take a bunch of pills, maybe acupuncture is the way to go. They
If your back hurts from sitting around watching TV all day,
Get your gift certificates.
Get the gift certificates to Fantuzo's Acupuncture. They do amazing things to make you feel better. And they do have the gift certificates. They also have CBD oils and things that you can get. Have you ever done the CBD?
No.
No?
Is there any CBD in Shannon's coat over there that we can bust her for?
I was looking for it. I don't know. I didn't find anything fun. No snack. She's a mom with no snacks in her coat.
Unreal.
How does a mom of all those kids not have any snacks? Like
We
in
were hoping to
pockets?
find some drug paraphernalia so we could bribe her.
Right. There was nothing like that.
Kimberly's Revolution is a new Facebook page.
That's right.
And we have a group page. So
You've
sign
been very busy.
Group
Sign
what?
up. Sign up for our group page and have some conversations.
See, is it private though? I think you got to take it off the private status.
All they got to do is invite themselves, and then we can accept it.
Private group stuff?
I don't-
What did I miss?
Were you? It's like it's one of those, the private sex clubs.
Chicka wow wow.
That's what it is. So yeah, of course, Kimberly's Revolution is on YouTube. You can subscribe for free.
Apple
right?
Podcast.
We like free Apple Podcasts.
There's that free word again.
We like free a lot. And, of course, we also like our sponsors of Fantuzo's Acupuncture. It is not free for us to do this podcast. So if you know someone that would like to advertise on Kimberly's Revolution with Revere, we would love to talk to them. So you can, but we're very exclusive. I mean, it's like a thing where you can't have on a podcast, you can't have too many advertisers, right? Because it gets all muddied.
Yeah, there's no commercial breaks.
There's no commercial
We just keep
break.
talking and talking and talking.
I know, which I love. I mean, it's easy for me to do.
Tom's shirt keeps flashing and flashing and flashing.
I only get to talk for an hour a week. And no, the jacket stopped.
Why isn't it flashing? His
I don't-
battery,
I think the battery died.
his battery died.
No, we're good.
Oh, it's so pretty.
There's a magic button.
We never
Yeah,
know
I
what to
bet.
expect from Tom. All right, for Chad Hummel and Tom Morgan, and of course Fitzy here, and Kimberly's Revolution, we appreciate all of our viewers. We appreciate our listeners. Hope you join us again next week. And of course, our episode is if they fear us, they won't fuck with us.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of the week. Join us here next week. And again, get out to Fantuzo's Acupuncture. And how do we always end everything?
Nothing is free.
God bless.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzoAcupuncture.com.